Hey guys, welcome back. It's Patrick Johnston here, co-owner and managing broker of GoDominicanLife.com, nationally here in the Dominican Republic. We are your real estate brokerage for everything in terms of real estate: mortgage, sales, rentals, property management, mortgage, etc. We're here to help you. But today's date is about a market update. Currently, we're sitting in our Sosua office with Margarita Vandamme, who runs our team in this area. And we were just discussing today about everything that has happened in this sales year that we just finished in August. And wow, what a year.
What a year it was.
Wow. It's, there's been such a huge market shift. If we think about it going back 2 years ago, the market, just prior to the pandemic hitting, it was a relatively kind of flat
market,
plus 2 or 3% annually. And then it went like a rocket ship like this, not only in property value, but in the volume of development and purchases and whatnot. How are you? How was your year?
Well, my year was very vibrant, very extremely active.
Mm-hmm.
I am happy to be able to say that I had my first little holiday about a couple of weeks ago after an extremely busy year,
mm-hmm.
which is of course wonderful, but I was happy to be able to get a break. But it was extremely busy. It hasn't been as busy as all the years before, so it's amazing what's happening on this market right now.
We sit here now, and about a year and a half ago, we started together. Right?
Exactly.
And when we look at back then, we started with you only. And you're working from your house at the time, or
yes.
your condo. And maybe you can talk now about where you are today with your team and what your structure of your team looks like here in Sosua, at least on a local level. What does it look like?
So I started in the area in mid-June 21. Mm-hmm. So it's not even 1.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I came from a big company, had been in real estate for many years, mm-hmm. and done many transactions. But what happened when we started, of course, the borders had opened a little while before, and people wanted to change their lifestyle. So the minute the company started in this area, we haven't stopped until then. Mm-hmm. Until the day today, we've mm-hmm. been active with amazing results and an amazing increase of everything that is happening here. Not just sales, but also our team increased. Like you said, I started on my own, working from my couch with the computer on my lap, and running around with clients all day long, from early morning till late afternoon, mm-hmm. Having dinners with clients and trying to make it all happen in the time frame we had. And now we have a team of 6 already, I think. So
let's name the names. So
so
make sure we're here.
Yeah.
So we have, of course, what is your name again?
So my name is Margarita.
And then a second came?
Elizabeth.
Third came?
Morena.
Fourth?
Jessica.
Jessica, right, yeah.
Then we had, at the same time, Sophie and Odile.
Sophie and Odile, you're correct.
And then our last new member is Zoran.
Yeah, Zoran, yeah.
Yes. So we're, how much is that? I lost the count. I think it's 7 already, right? So yeah. Me, Jessica, Elizabeth, Morena, Odile, Sophie, Zoran. Yeah, so 7.
So already like 7 times the growth,
yeah.
By way of human capital. And the way we are set up as a company is the heavy part of the operations, marketing, the digital marketing, graphic design, lead sourcing, all of that stuff is all done out of our head office in Las Terrenas.
Exactly.
But that was just at the beginning, a centralized system. But now as we continue to grow here in Sosua and Cabarete and now Plata, and of course beyond Rio San Juan and
Yeah,
Cabrera, et cetera.
Cabrera, yeah.
We are now bringing more local talent in to support the regional office space.
Yeah.
And so what goes along with that? In the past, we would have our digital marketing team spend 1 week, say in Las Terrenas, and another week, the opposite week here in Sosua. But now we're transitioning to have full-time here in Sosua,
Exactly.
Cabarete, with all the editing done in Las Terrenas. So it's all about efficiency and of course growth, because we're managing anywhere between 700 to 900 listings in our system nationwide right now.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of digital content to obtain the quality leads for buyers of our property, because most of our buyers are not in the Dominican Republic.
No.
95% or more.
95%, I would say, are contacting us from abroad. You have to realize that people have changed their lifestyle since COVID, and I think that made the big change in people thinking differently about the way they're living. Because you have to realize that when COVID came, everybody was obliged to stay home, and everybody was realizing that where they were was where they didn't want to be anymore. Because people who lived in a studio wanted to have a bigger condo. People who lived in a condo wanted to have a little house. People who lived in a little house wanted to have a bigger house. And people living in a big house wanted to have a mansion. And then when you realized that they couldn't have what they wanted to have where they were currently, and on top of that, it was snowing, why not move to Dominican Republic?
You know, we were down here, we were quite fortunate because the Dominican Republic had relatively little restrictions compared to anywhere in North America, like US and Canada, I should say. Even Europe was, all those areas were heavy lockdown. Here, all the government really wanted to do is stop the merengue, stop the bachata dancing, and stop the Wi-Fi and the speaker at the Colmado, because that is where the socialization.
Exactly.
But I found it very humorous and impossible to stop the fluidity of the Dominican people in exactly what's in their blood in terms of dancing and social.
I think still that the government, the Dominican government, were really very accurate in trying to control everything, because like it's very natural for a Dominican to be open and hug people and everything. So it was hard to control, and they had to find a way to eliminate it. And then like COVID was, I think, quite quickly under control here as well. And you know, still things popping up, but I think also with vaccination and everything, it's important that people know that it's a healthy country.
Like it's, you know, you think, we always think as non-Dominicans, we think that everything happens here slower than in North America, US and Canada. But the Dominican Republic had vaccinations before the US and Canada. And most people don't really think about that. And they took a very proactive, non-harsh approach. There was a couple of months that it was like
very
Saturday at noon you had to be in your house. Remember those times, guys?
Yeah.
And that was a little bit weird, but that didn't last that long. But I digress. The good part of the pandemic is that all of our buyer and seller clients from North America were sitting in their home, locked down in the dead of winter, and wondering how in the world am I going to escape back to the place that they get their happiness from, which is right here in the Dominican Republic.
And
so
also
we had people, you know, this was before you started, in Las Terrenas, we would have people, probably 35-40% of our sales 2 years ago were over the phone video, people making decisions by, you know, my iPhone shooting down the street this way, down the street this way, inside in a drone work, and then they were just sending the money. And we thought, wow.
Exactly.
This is easier.
A lot of companies in North America, Canada, were also promoting people to work from home because, you know, the world couldn't completely stop. And that gave the advantage to many people also to change their lifestyle and still do work from home, but just change the place where home is. So
yeah, like example, we had you know, the power of YouTube is a little bit strange sometimes. But I was here, a month ago, and this was not planned, but you were going to pick up a client, meet them at Super Pola. So I went along for the ride. She didn't know this, I didn't know this. And so we were waiting at Superpola for the client to show up, and then they showed up and they went, "Oh my God, it's Patrick from YouTube."
You're really real.
So we got in the car, and it was embarrassing and weird because they know more about me than I
know about them.
But what came out of that conversation was her husband was doing insurance sales or insurance home sales. And he converted his whole entire life, like we talk about, that if you are forced to work from home and the office is downsizing to be more appropriate for the time frame, and you can choose where you want to live, they made the choice, sold their house in Atlanta, Georgia, and moved here to Sosua, and
just bought a house. Yeah.
So that's part of the world that we keep thinking and telling you about, is that the entire, in my opinion, the entire reason why people resist is that it's like this. It's so out of the box to think that you can actually earn a North American wage doing the skill set that you have in today's environment because of taking advantage of what the pandemic benefits were to change the scope. Further to that, I was watching 2 a.m, of course I catch up on the news. I was watching CNN or something, and they were talking about offices and office complexes and how the vacancy rate has been climbing because employers are trying to bring their people back, and they're saying, "Nope, I'm going south." And for example, Yelp, the online review system, Yelp has just let go of all of their national corporate office. They are 100% cloud-based and work from home.
And they're changing the building into living spaces, into
spaces,
condos and everything. Yeah.
So as you may be saying, well, what does this have to do with the marketplace here? What it does have to do with the marketplace here is that when people, for example, that work at Yelp or any other examples, they are choosing to relocate here and invest. And taking advantage of the past 2.5 years in North America when values went right through the roof, and they can cash out and then bring that money and allow it to go 3 or 4 times the value here in the country and have less clothing, better lifestyle, better skin, better hair color, cheaper rum, cigarettes, and beer. If you rent, because there are people that do that, way cheaper rent. So it's overall a better environment for people to consider.
Yeah,
but
that's
again, it's this. You have to think about it.
Bulb
So
what I wanted to say as well, like people sometimes they choose to come here and they don't have the possibility to buy because they're 20 years old and they haven't built their capital yet. There's a big rental market right now as well, and people sometimes they want to buy a property but they don't really want to move down because they have grandkids and they want to be close. It's also the right time to invest because people just want to live here. If they have the money to buy or not, if maybe you want to buy a rental property and just rent it out, make money, and then when the time is right to come and retire, your house is here paid off and you don't have any expenses in the month because somebody's paying it off for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
let's talk about new things that are impacting your market here now.
Well, we see that a lot of people are going for, like everybody likes something new, right? So people are really going for new construction or even pre-construction because it gives them the opportunity to live in the right space completely to their taste, because of course what we offer right now is some standard models that residentials make, but also they can be customized. And the nice thing is you can of course buy a house where somebody else lived in, but it will never be 100% your style or taste. And the nice thing with pre-construction is that even if you like the layout, you can keep the layout, but you can choose your tiles and the backsplash and your granite countertops and all these things, which makes it really nice because then you have your home away from home or your new home in a new place, and it's completely up to your standards and taste. And it gives you the opportunity to have a new house for a lesser price, because when you buy it in pre-construction, what a lot of people do right now, then they can get in easier,
Yeah. So it brings up to the point of what is right now, what's hot in the market and what's not hot in the market right now?
Well, people are still trying to buy as close to the beach as they can or close to the center. A lot of people want to be on the beach, but a lot of people also want to be off the beach, just outside of town, outside of the hustle and bustle and the noise, but just have a nice little spot where they can walk to town and have their little piece of paradise. Here on the North Coast, all the areas we serve mostly are very lush and rich in nature, so that's what people like to have. And yeah, we go from all kinds of budgets, let's say. Sometimes we have a little property at a great price around the 60,000 mark, and of course these kind of properties, they don't, they go like in a matter of days or even hours. You know, we put it online and like 20 minutes later people are calling for it. But you know, like around the 100 mark, a lot of people are still buying like little places away from home. And yeah, people who are looking for a house, a lot of people still want to have their house, you know, with their private yard, private pool. And yeah, then people are investing around the 200, 250 mark easily. And sometimes a little bit more expensive as well, of course. People can go up to easily around 350. And these are the things we have, we still have a good inventory in those.
So I keep reminding everybody here, there's people that are watching the video around us right now, physically here. The average cost of a home in Canada is around $850,000 nationwide. There's, like, I'm from Halifax originally, so it's not that. It's around $550,000, $600,000 now. But in Toronto, for a very simple home is over $1 million. So when we're talking that you can get a studio starting out type of property for 60 grand, or a one-bedroom apartment for about 100 grand, and then scaling up, even at the high end, $350,000 or so. I mean, come on, you're a third of the value of the national price in Canada. United States is very similar.
And so, Europe the same.
Yeah. So you can technically, if you think about it, you can retire early by about 5 years and then live a great life with a third of the cost by simply relocating.
Absolutely.
So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, you know, as we've been building our company out over the last number of years, we have started to implement all the accessory divisions of the company. So as we introduced mortgage about 90 or 120 days ago.
Yes.
So we now have mortgage brokerages in the United States and Canada, UK and Europe for standard bank financing and residential or commercial financing, plus private lending here in the DR, and then refinancing in the other areas that I mentioned. But what goes along with that too is naturally we've had so many requests over and over for property management and short-term rentals.
Yes.
Which we have now, that's my background, is property management. So I had over 2,500 rental suites that I owned and operated in my area in Canada. So it was inevitable that we would get back into that business, but in a different dynamic, more in the property management side. Property management side here means we can manage your property to coordinate and make sure that the grass is cut, the security is being done correctly, the pool maintenance. So that
bills are paid.
Bills are paid so that you show up and it's exactly as you remember it before you left. Because properties in the tropics, you should not let them be closed for half a year and then show up and expect things to be just perfect.
Yeah.
They have to be maintained on a daily or every other day. So we've introduced that service. We started in Las Terrenas, but we are now available here in Sosua, Cabarete. And we also offer short-term rentals. So Peter Noel, sorry Peter, I almost said it wrong. Peter Noel does our online reservation process. And then we have in each area, we have in our team what we call runners, or people that will do the check-in, check-out. And then each area have more than enough plumbers, painters, electricians, pool guys, all those things.
A big advantage of that is that people are taking care of your property while you're away. You know, this is a humid country. It's very hot and nice, and that's great when you don't have to do anything because you can go to the beach or jump in the pool or just walk around in your bikini all day, and then you don't feel it. But it also means that you maintain your house, you keep it pretty, painted. And the nice thing is when you have good property management and even rentals, the rentals and everything pay for keeping your property up to date and having it pretty when you come home, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's right. So along with that was the idea that just 2 weeks ago, Vincent, who's on our team, who runs Custom Beach Villas,
Yes.
our division of the company, they broke ground 2 weeks ago in Sosua Ocean
Yes,
Village
yes.
for a custom home for clients from the U.S., I believe.
Yes,
From
U.S.
the U.S.
Yes.
So that's another division that we started. So as the market currently here, and in Las Terrenas, that you do not have a lot of volume in each price bracket, you do have the ability to choose the land and then build what you exactly want.
Yes.
So maybe explain on how that saves money and time.
Yeah, like for example, in our team, we will guide you to the place where you want to be. And when, for example, we select the place where you want to have your dream home, we sit together with our builder. In general, it starts with a video call because we're not always at the same place, all of us together. We talk about what your wants and likes are and try to design the perfect home on that piece of land that we found for you.
Yeah.
And it is a process that takes a little bit of time, but it's very exciting because people can see little by little how their dream home in their head becomes reality. And then, we go through the process of guiding, getting to the start of the construction because, everything's done very official in this country. You own your home, the title has your name on it, so it's not some crazy country where you cannot really own your piece of land. So that's really important for you guys to know. And also in the town hall, your plans will be approved, so we won't build some crazy thing. Everything will be followed up by all the instances that need to give you approval.
Yeah.
And we will guide you through the process. Our building partner is really good at that. And then when the plans are approved, then the most exciting part starts. Then they're gonna start moving on your piece of land, and you can see the reality come to life, and that's super, super amazing.
And we have all the professional divisions for the building process internal, architect, engineer,
Yes.
2 architects, 1 engineer. We're hiring a 2nd engineer because of this area. So we'll have 2 engineers, 2 architects, and we can turn plans around very quickly.
Yes.
Which, before I go on to the next topic, just wanted to say this. In this country, or when you're buying real estate, because it's not MLS and you don't have a lot of comparables to compare yourself to, it becomes a very emotional purchase or an emotional sale. So when you build a custom home, the public only has to know about you buying the dirt.
Yes.
And it's not as emotional for a seller to sell dirt or a buyer to buy dirt, meaning the land. They don't have to know about your vision and your sexy villa that you're going to build in your head. And you're not going to waste any time or money because you're not paying for the emotional side of how you feel and how they felt of the 20 years that they've owned it. So believe me, some people have said, well, it's more expensive to build today than it is any other time. That possibly is true, but the savings you have because you're not going to be paying for renovations. You're building exactly what you want today. You won't be spending money on a brand new home like you would for 10 years in a home that's 20 years old. Like any car or home in the tropics, close to the ocean, the salt air, everything deteriorates or fails faster. So that's a big benefit to consider. And Vincent and his team on our custom division, he can show you how to maximize your square footage or your meters of your property. That will be either air conditioned, which will be more costly, or covered, meaning outdoor living space that is covered, which is less expensive to build than having an indoor space. So you can maximize your volume for your budget.
Yeah, and then, like you said, when you're buying an existing home, it might all seem perfect at the day of closing, but you don't know what tomorrow can bring, and sometimes a pool pump breaks or something because it's already a couple of years old. And when you have a new home, you don't have all these worries because everything is installed for you. You have new pipes, new electric, everything new.
The best example, right through that door right now, is a toilet.
No, there's no toilet.
There is no toilet. But it's a 25-year-old property that our office is in, and that sewer line is probably the size of, this, and it should be this big in today's world. So that's costing us $500, $600, $700, $800 to fix.
And yeah, not only that, like in this country before, that's something that people don't think about. Like in our countries, you go to the toilet and you flush your toilet paper because that's normal, because that's if you don't do that, When you come to these countries and you go to campos, like countrysides where people live in a basic home, they have these little pipes because the little pipes are less expensive. And when you build a home like that, you don't put the big pipes in. Well, right now, new constructions, of course, don't work that way anymore.
Correct,
we do like the proper way, like Europeans, Canadians, Americans are used to use the toilet, which is a logical thing when you think of it, but it's not in this country. So that's also a big advantage.
So moving away from the topic of poop.
Let's move away from it, yes. I think that's a good
onto
idea.
something positive to talk about. Because we're now open with custom beach villas here that we're building at Sosua Ocean Village, we've had great success in our sales process for our internal company project called Vibe in
Yes.
Las Terrenas. We're, 90% sold at this point. Half a dozen units are left. If you want to buy one, we have starting at $259,000 to $308,000. However, last Saturday, we purchased land here in Sosua.
Yes, I can tell you that I've bugged Patrick for the last months. Said, and when is it Sosua, Cabarete, Puerto Plata's turn? We are anxious. We want to have Vibe. What's going on? You're selling everything there. When is it going to happen? And I'm very, very, very proud to say that we are having our own Vibe. I'm super excited.
So if you've been watching the videos on Vibe on our channel, thank you for watching. But this style of accommodation that we built there, that's marketed there right now, we will be doing a similar style design here. Our first piece of land that we purchased will contain roughly 14 villas.
Yes.
So it won't take long to sell out with 14 villas. So Margarita has already mentally started to assign people's names that you don't even know you're going to buy yet. But she has your names already.
You know who you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your name is on the list. But so that is literally, we put the deposit down today.
Yes.
Actually today.
Yes.
And within the next couple of weeks, we'll have permits in process.
Yes.
And then literally within the month from now, we'll be marketing, and you'll see that on the channel.
And also we're working on other locations already.
Yeah.
We have a few smaller locations and then something that you...
Yeah.
I cannot say anything.
So I'm working on
Don't say too much.
No.
Just say a little bit.
I'm working on a giant master plan. So it's a huge piece of land that I'm very connected to, and we're looking forward to building out that. We're in negotiations right now. We can't say too much on it, but it can hold north of 300 villas, and we're looking forward to see how we can make that come together in the next 30 days to 60 days. So I'm excited about that, but that's going to be 2024 through 2028. And that's my role as part of the company, is to build the vision and the inventory for the future. But we just want you to know that we're a fully integrated, virtually integrated company, that we're here to build, provide services and support. So we're not here for just a short term.
And I'm happy that I nagged so much to Patrick that he's going to give me a lot of vibes to sell.
Yeah. So last thing I want to talk about is our second generation of realtors in our system. We are now nationwide between all across the North Coast, from Samaná to here in Puerto Plata, North Coast.
Connections in Punta Cana. We
Yeah,
can't forget about that.
But we have 6 nationally super well-trained, experienced agents on our team, full-time, that have been in the industry on average between 5 and 9 years. on average. But with that, we are going to grow the team to about 20 agents within this current sales year, this is the first month, so we have 11 more months beyond this to build. But we have brought on 3 new people to the system. We call them trainees, but they're real estate agents. But we're bringing them through the system of how Margarita markets and sells property, training on all the marketing, and they're looking at us right now, by the way. But all of our marketing, all of our digital marketing, our drone work, photo, video, training of all that, all of our online lead sourcing, so that we can get accurate information to this buyers and sellers in the way that when you sell in volume and you sell with skill, which was what Margarita does here in Sosua, Cabarete, and her team, but also what Stephen Hattie does with him and his team in Las Terrenas and Samaná. We need to have people trained the way we work as a team.
Yes.
So these guys are, they'll do very well. They'll do very well.
Can we present them for
Yeah.
real?
Come
Why
on
don't
in.
you come in, guys? Come and sit with us.
So on my right here, this is Zoran. So introduce yourself, Zoran.
Hello guys, my name is Zoran. I'm going to be working with this wonderful team and I'm very excited.
And you'll be based here in Sosua, Puerto Plata,
Yes.
Cabarete.
Right here.
So he'll be full-time in this office for the ongoing support. Ivan?
Hey guys, I'm Ivan. I'm gonna be part of the team in Las Terrenas.
Yeah. And Ivan's father is Lucien, the DJ extraordinaire, conquistador of Spain, and also Ivan is from Spain. And Alex?
Alex Gomez. I'll be working in Las Vegas as well with Ivan and the team in Las Vegas.
So as you can see, we started here a year and a half ago in Sosua with 1 person. We're now at 7 people on the team here. But nationwide, between from Puerto Plata to Punta Cana, all inclusive, between our sales division, our property management, our mortgage, short-term rentals, property management, custom beach villas, and all of our administration, we're at 28 people nationwide. And globally, because some people work online from Argentina and beyond, actually,
Yes.
and Canada online. So we're here to support you. We're here to assist and make it very streamlined and easy. We work closely together, so when you're dealing with Margarita, she has that full support of the team behind her to make sure she can spend as much time with you while the team is getting everything ready to go.
And we will also help you with everything. It's not just the sales process, but we also understand that if you have kids and they're young, you want to know where they're going to go to school, and we're going to help you find the school.
Yeah.
We can go and talk with the principal. We can help you where to set up your insurances, stuff like that. So don't worry if you have any weird question or any topic that we haven't talked about, come to us. We can answer all your questions.
So let's wrap up and say this. People have asked, is it a good time to invest in real estate in the Dominican Republic?
Absolutely. I think on the contrary, I don't know what you have been waiting for.
Right. The market continues to be strong. The country in July of 2022 had the largest amount of arrivals in the history of the Dominican Republic by inbound airport transit numbers, which speaks to the volume of what we're talking about. These are public figures that are issued by the government. Real estate value is 1/3 the cost of that in North America or Europe, or UK, Europe. So it's a good place. It's a good place.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for watching. So Margarita, thank you very much for the great sales year.
Thank
Okay?
you so much for having me on the team.
Wow.
It's the best thing I've ever done.
Very good. So we're here to continue to grow. So adios from the beaches of Sosua and Cabarete.
Bye.
See you soon.